Good to talk with you again, Drew.
Hey Gary.
So, doing a piece on Blake. Um, do you have any stories that you haven't told about Blake yet? Because I've reread some of your quotes, and they're golden. About how he slows the game down, how fast he caught on when you first got to look at him, spring of 24. But if you could maybe touch on how this guy leads, and by that I mean not when everybody's watching, during the week, the way he interacts with the guys, popping into other position rooms and saying this or that. Could you maybe color that in for me a little bit?
Yeah, I
The
mean
kind of
he
leader we're talking about,
he's the one who within the practice, he's going to be the one passing out, the any food that the scout team's supposed to be getting or stuff like that, right? He's
yeah,
serving. He's a great combination of a wise guy, funny dude, but still aware of people serving um and understanding where he is, who's in the room with him and how he needs to treat people. Like before I have to go come drag him out of we're having a position meeting. Sometimes I got to go drag him out of the O line room because he's in there. They're in there playing like a game on the computer, with like some kind of game where they're having to remember what president was, office in this year, or like they're doing like these, like a Jeopardy kind of game or something on the computer, but he's just in there with them, and you can hear him in there going, they're in there having a great time, and it's just it's insane, when them guys get in there and what they're saying and what they're doing, but the relationships, like he spends time with people, he's very aware of, like I can ask him about um my son Eli, who's a plebe. Okay,
right,
hey Blake, what's going on with Eli? He's like, well, he looked good doing this. Like he's aware of, and Eli's a freshman, he's a senior, and he's just aware of what's going on, of being able to invest in the people around him. It is not all about him. Okay,
right,
he is very much a team guy. He doesn't let all this stuff go to his head because the guy's a really good football player, right?
yeah,
He's a guy that's pretty recognizable. Um, and he's just Blake. He's just a
right,
knucklehead, fun dude that's really, really smart, really, really aware of people and respectful. It just he's gonna be the first one to go talk to somebody. He's gonna bring his middle school up from Ohio on camp. Like, he had his I think it was his he had a visit. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott. It was his middle school came, and so this was some of maybe his old teachers, and so
right.
they brought some of their middle school students. And he just spent. He asked me if he could come meet with me earlier, so he could go spend time with them. Right. So just just who he is. He's gonna bring his mama's gonna make these chocolate things and he brings them in, gives them. It's always
Right.
something. Yeah.
He's
It's
got
always
like 50 jobs going on.
yeah. He's just got, and it doesn't seem to wear him out or.
Right.
He just kind of, hey, shoot, just kind of happy-go-lucky guy.
Well, with that in mind, did did he on game day, when everything's fast and it's loud and there's no time to really think, you just have to do. How does he stay in that calm lane? Whether it's huddle, sideline, or whatever, positive. Like the Tulsa start was very indicative
Hmm.
of him on TV. What on the
Yeah,
stream, watching him go up to people, basically saying, "We're good, we're good. We just need to,
yeah,
tighten things up," him included.
yep.
How
That's
does he handle all that
yeah,
in
and he takes
addition to,
responsibility, right? He takes
yeah,
responsibility, and for anything maybe he didn't do. He is very aware of uh, making everybody around him comfortable because I think he's comfortable too. And he's probably grown. He used to be, especially when he was first starting last year. You could tell it took a series for him to kind of just, you know, he was worked up and ready to go play, But now I don't even think he just kind of Joe Cool a little bit out there. And I mean, I think if you see pictures, like if they take a picture of him running the ball, you could probably see him smiling,
yeah,
right? You know what I mean?
Sometimes.
While he's playing, like he's got a smile on his face, like, man, I'm having a blast right now. I'm probably about to get hit by this guy, and I'm having so much fun. It just seems like he's having a good time. Um, there was Hines Ward was that way. Okay, like I was with Hines in
Wow.
Georgia, and you could see him if he got loose somewhere, he'd run. He was running down the sidelines with a big grin on his face.
Yeah.
And that's kind of Blake. And I'd imagine if I'm on the speaker every once in a while, he messed something up, and I'll get after him on. He's probably smiling then. Like, go shut up. So it's just kind of. I think Blake's having fun. I think he knows who he is. I think he's very comfortable in the position that he's in. Um, Not comfortable in such a way that he's not pushing to get better, but I think he's very self-aware. He understands who he is. He understands what he needs to do. He understands the guys around him, and he is able to put all that together and move it forward in a positive way. He's very, not only is he brilliant from a IQ standpoint, he's very football smart, but he's people smart. Like he's aware. Like some people don't they just their minds are somewhere. He is always aware of what's going on around him.
Thank you, Coach.
Wags.
We were just talking to Brandon Chapman. Can you kind of talk about his performance on Saturday? He got more touches than normal, and he responded and delivered.
He did. It was just kind of one of those games. It was a little bit more of an ace snipe game, and you know, we got a lot of confidence in Chad. I mean, that's not the first game he's made a lot of plays. So, um, it just happened that ball was, the option plays that he was the pitch man on, got pitched to him a lot. Just certain times the games, end up with the ball in your hands more, and when he gets the ball, he's a really good player. And obviously he's a very unselfish player when he doesn't have the ball. So that's just a great example. Like our guys, like Eli Heidenreich, he probably blocked the perimeter this game while Chat had the ball as good as I've seen some perimeter blocking. And that's just kind of our guys. Eli gets the ball, Chat's blocking his tail off, and vice versa. And then, Teska's blocking his, they just kind of do that. And sometimes you happen to be the one that has the ball in your hands, and sometimes you don't. And you go play hard and you do it the right way all the time. And Chat made a big catch in the first series. And the kid's just tough. He's just tough as nails. He competes. He doesn't want to get tackled. Sometimes I'd like for him to just get on out of bounds. He don't want to go out of bounds. He wants to keep making yards. And he does it all. Another kid with a big smile on his face. Um, and he enjoys the competition. And I identify with that guy. That undersized guy who just tough as nails and competes his tail off. It really means a lot to me because he puts his body through it. I mean, he's 170 pounds, and that's after he eating lunch. Um, and he just goes and competes like he weighs 210 pounds, and it's pretty special.
Can you say why it was more of an ace snipe game? I know Mike James was doing his film breakdown, and he said that it appears that Navy used Eli Heidenreich as a decoy quite a bit, maybe lining him up outside to force the defender to go out there. I don't want you to give away state secrets. Well, I do want you to give away state secrets.
I know you do.
I know you won't, but can you, in simple terms, tell us why it was more of an ace type game?
I think sometimes it depends, because of the difference in the A and the Z snipe. The Z generally, to keep it simple, when it's more of a weak side, maybe game, an upside game, the Z's probably get more touches. When it's more of a strong side game, the A ends up getting a few more touches just because the way you formation and what people are giving you. Honestly, going into the game, I thought it'd be a little bit more of a Z snipe game. But the way they played, they didn't give us the look we were expecting. And so it ended up being it just depends on the day, but there's times where depending on what they're giving you defensively in the option game, because I think carries were on option pitches. If I'm so deep into North Texas, it's hard to remember last Saturday, but it just was more option related things. And a lot of option football is about what you're getting front wise, what you're getting secondary wise. So which way are you going with it, right? And it just so happened that was kind of the deal. And we were able to give him the ball in space. Out of what do you have, 10 carries, something like that?
Yeah.
I bet 8 of those were some kind of option pitch, if I'm just going off memory. And it just happened to be that kind of day. That's option football for you, on that kind of stuff.
Well, on that note, Blake has impressed me with waiting till the last possible moment to pitch. Now, sometimes it gets a little dicey. He's got some crazy pitches where he's. I'm glad that Snipes are always ready at any time, because there's times when I think he's definitely not pitching, and whoa, there he goes. But it's a unique skill. There's been Navy quarterbacks in the past that were too prone to pitch way too early. It did not basically allow a defender to cover two guys when you do that. But he forces that defender to commit. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I just think he has a great feel for that. And there's times where I am too, Wags. I'm like, ah. But generally he makes it work. But there's some risk in option football when it comes to that. When you start pitching the ball and all that, there's some risk. Um, but he has been doing it for so long. I don't think it's anything he really thinks about. I think he just reacts to what he gets. He has the ability to, uh, sometimes you'll see him sort of give a little, like he'll kind of fake the pitch and keep it, so he's got a good feel for when to keep it, when to pitch it, how long to keep it. Um, it's just, I'd love to say that was coaching, but it's not. It's just a kid that has a great feel for it.
You done, Wags?
Yes, three questions.
Okay. I wasn't keeping track. Um, Blake reminds me of Kaipo a lot. Kaipo was the same way of waiting until the last minute to pitch. And like Blake, Kaipo ran the offense in high school too. So that's who I think Blake is like when it comes to pitching the ball.
He's got
Um,
a lot of banked reps in
yep,
there.
yep. Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, how much time do you spend talking to Blake on the sidelines? And do you do a lot of that talking through Coach Jasper too?
Yeah, I do a lot of it through Coach Jasper. Coach Jasper has a thorough understanding of what we're trying to do, and of course, you got the iPads down there, so we're able to have to. Sometimes I'll talk to Blake. He'll throw a headset on, um, but they're generally talking through the iPad, and then as we make adjustments, sometimes I'll talk to him. A lot of times Ivan's talking to him. So a lot of time, Blake is, like I said, such a cerebral player. A lot of times you don't have to spend a lot of time making adjustments with Blake. He just kind of gets it the first time you tell. I mean, he's amazing. You go in here and you're worried about overloading the players with too much stuff, from a schematic standpoint when you're trying to get through a week of practice, trying to game plan for the next bunch, and it none of it bothers him. Okay, and so he just has such a high football IQ that you show it to him, you say, hey, this is what we want to do, and he's pretty much got it.
If he wasn't going to go off to be a pilot and serve his country, do you think he would be a fit as a coach?
100%. Absolutely. If that's what he wanted, if that was what he was passionate about, um, I would think so. I think some of that coaching stuff is are you passionate about that? Some folks wouldn't be. But would he have the ability to communicate and teach, and I think develop people? I think absolutely. I think he would.
Getting into North Texas, what have you seen from them? Everybody talks about their offense, but what have you seen from that Mean Green defense?
Yeah, they're good. They run well, athletic, aggressive. They play blocks well. Um, I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. Um, that it's a good looking defense, right? It's a lot of the defense coordinator came from Sam Houston. I think he's got 5 starters on the defense that came with him from Sam Houston. So those kids have a thorough understanding of what they're doing schematically. They're good. He wouldn't have brought them with him, okay,
Yeah.
if that wasn't his top guys that he really liked, right? So that says a lot to me when players go with a guy, and but I see, they got a lot of talent, a lot of transfers, okay, but they got them playing together, they got them playing really hard with a lot of confidence, um, but they're you know they really move well. and they give you a lot of looks, and so it's a challenge. That's a challenging week from a game plan standpoint. This is a good defense.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Wyatt Kopelman.
Hey, Coach, when you look at this North Texas defense on film, just to kind of follow up on what you just said, is there anything schematically that reminds you of what this offense has handled well earlier this season?
They do they remind me a little bit of the Navy, schematically. They do some similar things, give you some looks, bring some edge pressures. Uh, so they're but they're sound, and they'll line up in their underfront and just play ball. Sometimes they plug their linebackers, they bring two off an edge. They line up in some and I think some option fronts where they split the middle a little bit, two really three techniques, and stack the linebackers. So there's some different things going on there. They're getting an 8-man front, and bring pressures off the edge. So they do some different things. We'll kind of see, you get in the game, you kind of see what direction they're headed, from how they want to defend us. But it's challenging, because they're multiple. And like I said, they have good players. They have guys that have been in that system for a little while. And I think the defense coordinator is a sharp young guy that really knows what he's doing. So we've got to do a great job being in the right place, having our hat in the right place, leveraging things, seeing when they're going to slant, um, and taking advantage of big play opportunities when they're there. And we'll have to grind some, but there's some opportunities to get some plays, but it hangs on the edge of a knife. You've got to fit, you got to see it, you got to be able to maintain blocks. You got to fit the perimeter. It's a challenge. Now, I'm excited about that challenge. This is a time of year when you're sitting here and they got a really good team, and you feel like we feel like we have a good team, and then you get out there and you go compete and see who can be the last team standing right there, and so I'm excited about the challenge, but it's a challenge for sure. And but hey, it's November and you're playing some really good football teams that are still all in the hunt, right? And that's fun. We're all still the teams that we're playing against, and they're in the hunt. We're in the hunt. So it should be a lot of fun.
How important is it for this offense to establish the run early and keep the pressure off Blake, given how aggressive North Texas has been up front this year in the conference?
Yeah, obviously we got to run the football, and the ability to run the ball sets up some other things for us. Um, so but Blake, I trust Blake with the ball in his hands, and it's no matter what the situation, there's gonna he's had pressure on him all year in different situations, and but yeah, they are they in practice they get to pass rush a lot because they they play against an offense who throws it a lot, right? So um, you certainly don't want to be in a situation where every down's a throw down because then they're going to pin their ears back and come after you. You want to be able to mix it up and pick and choose your times. But we definitely need to run the football, and you know when you're able to do that and you make people play assignment football and you make people squeeze and take their gaps, okay, that helps out your ability to take a few chances. So certainly you got to be able to do that.
And Brandon just mentioned how the offense still takes advantage of fine-tuning the run game, even though this offense leads the country in rushing touchdowns. What do you think that says about the drive this unit has to better itself each week, regardless of the record and where this team is in this season right now?
Well, I think our kids are smart and they're hungry, and so they know who they are, and they can look at things and go, look, we can do this better or do that better. And I think they want to. Um, so it's not a team that's just happy to have a winning record anymore. I think, when last year when you're first beginning to win some, to truly, to truly win big, uh, mindset can be like, hey man, whew, hey, it's fun, we're winning. Now it's more of a expecting good things to happen, and knowing that what's in front of us, and if we don't improve, we can't reach our goals, right? And I think they understand if when they see things they can improve on, they want to get better because they want to be the best they can be. And I think it's a pretty mature bunch on offense, and I think they like I said, they live in reality. They know who they are, and they know, hey, we can get better at this, this, and this, and they go try to.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go back around. Wags.
Tim?
Gary's gone.
Yeah, Gary's gone.
So Drew, I want to be clear. Malcolm Johnson, I know he's played on the PAT field goal team. Was that the first time he's actually played offense this season?
Meaningful snaps, yes. I'm trying to remember if the end of a game, if he got in, maybe got a rep or two, but not much. So real proud of Malcolm. Um, you know, offensive line is a hard position to come in and play as a freshman. There's so much going on. You're trying to work as a five-man unit, and we do a lot, So um, I'm proud of that kid now, and he is, and he earned it. Okay. And he's got a long way to go, but he's got a bright future. And a lot of it's because of the way he approaches it. He's a good, tough kid. I mean, 2 years ago, the kid was playing a wide receiver in his first year of high school football. I think it was his first year.
That's
Uh,
correct.
so, um, he has come a long way. And I think his ceiling is really high. And he's a great kid. He's the kind of kid who's going to continue to improve because he cares.
So did he show you enough against Florida Atlantic to earn another starter? Or is that to be determined?
I think it's safe to say he'll be starting. Yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
I screwed up. Let me go to Tim Nolan. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip you.
Yeah, man, that's fair. Man, you don't get no respect, buddy. Come on now.
Drew, what's it been like for you just continuing to coach a group of guys that don't care who gets the credit? We're just talking with Chad, and he said he relishes blocking just as much as he does having a 184 total yard game like he did on Saturday.
It's refreshing. And I'm almost getting tears thinking about it. Just these are special young men. And you know who the happiest person was for chat? Who do you think it was? Eli.
Eli.
Okay. All right. So that's who they are, right? The guy that didn't get as many touches that game was the first one that was happy for his teammate, right? So they just look at it that way. They figure everybody figures they're going to play a major role, whether it's touching the ball or not touching it, and they're all going to get it at some point, so it just kind of depends on how it's going, but they don't care. They just want to score points. They just want to win. They just want to be successful. And they love each other, that's they're about what this. I mean, everything that you want college football to be about, that's who they are. It's amazing. Like those guys make me they make me feel bad about myself sometimes. Just because I look at them and go, man, I need to be better. I need to be more like they are. So that's a special thing. I'm coaching them, but they're coaching me. So it's pretty cool.
You got Braxton Woodson, his third touchdown of the year as well. How impressed have you been with his maturity, knowing that he could start at a number of places, but he just continues to find other ways to make an impact with Blake being the starter?
And he's another one. He's happy for Blake's success, and we're getting in the part of the schedule where we're going to fire every bullet we have. So you'll probably see him a little bit more, I would think. Here or there, doing something here or something there. But he's a very talented young man, and his time is coming as our quarterback. But he was excited to get some opportunities for sure. And I was excited to see him produce when he got in there. He ran for a touchdown. He had a pass completion. So he's a talented kid that can be a weapon out there in certain situations. So proud of him and just the way he stays ready to go.
Lastly, how exciting is a game like this for the competitor and you knowing that North Texas had a high octane offense? You also have one of the best offenses in the country and you're calling the shots.
Well, I just main thing I try to do is, is get the kids in a good situation. And I love competing. Okay. So you're trying to outcompete their defensive coaches. And that's how our staff feels. And we work together. It's a collaboration of what do we need to do next? How do we need to put them in good situations? But, it's fun. Uh, and it you want to win every single game, and you try to do everything you can to win every single game, and so that's that's our deal. Got to win, and winning is done because you win 1 second here and 1 second there, and the next deal and the next deal, and so. I'll do everything I can to put the kids in good situations, but I tell you, our players make us look smart a lot. Okay, they make plays, right? Kids that make plays make you like you're calling the right stuff. So you're trying to put them in good situations, but the bottom line is our guys right now are they believe in themselves and they believe in what we're doing. They believe in each other, and it's they're a special bunch. Regardless of what happens on a Saturday, it's a special group of kids.
Thank you.
Sorry again, Tim.
Oh,
Scott.
good.
Coach, what does it mean? What does it mean for the program when a player like Eli gets an invitation to an NFL senior bowl game where he's going to have scouts looking at him and teams looking at him? How does that
Yeah.
help you guys on the recruiting trail?
Well, first of all, he deserves that. Okay, he's a really good football player, and I think I think he can play pro ball. I really do. And but that's pretty cool. And that when guys get opportunities, it's a reflection of the program's doing well. So really that's you want to celebrate that. You want to honor that. And people take notice. Hey, they got guys going to do these different things. Maybe it helps your recruiting. It helps a lot of things, right? Um, so happy for him. He's earned it. He's a really talented young man. Um, and I think he'll get a good look. And that kid will bring something to somebody's program. He is so versatile. He does so many different things. And if he was playing football full time, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because these guys got a lot going on. If he really was able to just play football full time for a little while, he'd be even better. So I think that's a really cool deal and really proud for him.
He seems like he's stronger this year than last year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think every year, I think, Coach Carizzi has done an unbelievable job. Our strength staff is really, uh, we are a developmental program, period. There's no transfers coming in here. So we have to develop, have to take guys that we can project with good length or good speed or whatever it is, put size on them, put strength on them, get them faster, get them looser, get them more explosive. But yeah, I think so. That kid, I mean, like he is a sturdy kid. His blocking was phenomenal Saturday. His load blocking, his perimeter arc blocks, his ability to crack the edge and keep his leverage, uh, was kind of a training tape. And but then he has the ability to catch the ball. Has such strong hands. He makes contested catches, and then he's able to pull away from tackles. Right, he's able to break arm tackles, keep his body in good positions. Um, yeah, he's a good player now, and he is he's a 205-pound kid that's really put together and gotten stronger, and yeah, he's able to hold up. Absolutely.
I talked with Jake Norris this week, though you weren't involved in bringing him to the program. What's it like for you bringing him along as you develop this position in the program?
It tied in. Talking about, yeah,
Yeah.
I think John Williams has done an amazing job because that room started from scratch a couple years ago, and you kind of moved some guys around, and obviously Cody is a former wide receiver. Jake was another position. Scully. Thomas Scully last year was a guy that moved. So John's done a tremendous job of developing that room, and those guys know they're an integral part of what we're doing. Um, so proud of Jake. Jake is a tough kid who wants to do it. Physical, wants to do it right, hustle guy. Made a nice catch in the game the other day. Plays through injury. Can't say enough good things about Jake.
And as an example for the young guys that you have brought in, is that the kind of the perfect mold that you want?
Sure. I mean, you got a couple of veteran guys who the kind of guys you want in that room. Cody is tough, right? Cares, and will let you know if you didn't like you care. Okay. I mean, there's some leadership in that room. There's some toughness in that room. And that's a big part of who we are. That position, being able to do things we're asking them to do, is a big piece.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. We're out of time. Coach has got meetings at 3 o'clock.
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.